So did we hear about the fact that Drake is now getting sued by this photographer who shot for his book Ameriguns, which basically shows the fetish between Americans and their guns. And Drake used this image in his video, What Did I Miss? And basically it portrays him standing by a pool in a mansion with all the guns as you see right here laid out in order, right? And it does look very similar to the image that's in the book. I will show you the image that is being portrayed that they are saying that Drake had stole from him. So yeah, if we see this image right here, it definitely does look very similar to the image that Drake has portrayed in this image right here. You know how you got the guy standing by the pool. If you even notice right here too, with the image with Drake, notice how, man, he's got the rifles right there too, just lined up. It's just really interesting photo. But yes, this looks like this is the picture right here that the photographer Gabrielle Galimberti, not sure if I pronounced that correctly. And basically what this book portrays, again, is America's fascination with carrying guns. I think he even showed reports that it says that 70 to 80% of Americans that aren't even in the military or have a need for guns have guns in their households. So that's what the book is portraying. Even if we go on to look at some of these other pictures, like this one right here, I love this one right here where it's got the couple with the guns on the floor. But if you even look carefully right here, you see that they even have guns inside the refrigerator. This is definitely something that's true. Now, I didn't bring this up to report that Drake is being sued by a photographer who said that he stole his work. Not only that, can I also mention the fact that supposedly this artist, Gabrielle, or whatever his name is also stating that Drake used his work because this is also the same photographer who had got criticized for doing that ad campaign for Balenciaga that showed allegedly glorification of PDFing. So the photographer's trying to put together and say, hey, he's using my images because he's trying to use this as a subliminal attack towards Kendrick Lamar because Kendrick called him a PDF. Now, I think it's a little bit of a reach there, but who knows? You know, Drake is known for sneak dissing, but that's not really the reason why I am bringing up this topic. The reason why I'm bringing up this topic is because it made me think about American culture, and it made me think about some of the women that I have dated before, and that some of them had a fascination with guns. And as I was looking at these images, I noticed that he has a lot of images of women with guns in these pictures. Like this one right here. I mean, come on, man. It don't really get more Texas than that. The Lone Star State. He has a lot of images of women and families and children around what you see right here. And it just made me start thinking, like particularly this picture right here. I used to know a girl who looked just like this, like a girl who couldn't even hurt a fly, carrying all these guns. And I said to myself, I was like, what do you need all of these guns for? This is what made me think of this topic. Like, as I looked into this story, I was like, oh, interesting. But then I started checking out the book, and I was like, the name of the book is called Ameriguns, like Americans, but Ameriguns. Interesting, right? And of course, the photographer is from Italy, you know, of course. So he's just, you know, this is his job talking trash about Americans, which that's why it's good to travel, because once you travel, you start to see what other countries really think of us. You know, America, I got to say, is known to be a violent country. And, you know, it's really interesting when people say, oh, watch out before you go to that country. You know, I've been to other countries like Mexico and stuff like that. And people say, oh, Mexico's dangerous. It's real dangerous. But you know what, though? America's kind of dangerous, too. What I will say here, and just look at some of these guns, too, that are on the wall right here. Like these machine guns and whatever that is, like a grenade launcher or something like that. I mean, bazookas and all kinds of stuff. It's just really fascinating. But I gotta say, that, yeah, I knew a girl who kind of reminded me of this image. Now, she wasn't this extreme and had these many guns, but she had enough. And I even asked her, I was like, why do you feel the need to carry all these guns? Like, have you been in a situation that made you need to walk around with protection like this? You know, she said she just liked him and that her dad always had guns around and he raised her to use guns, for which I don't even know why, but I guess some fathers do that with their daughters. I said, okay, I could understand it from that point. Like, you like it for hunting, supposedly, right? But I just also said, like, you know, I could understand if you're a person who's been in the military or you work in law enforcement and then you have guns at your home. That I kind of understand. Or, unfortunately, if you've been in situations where you feel like you need to carry protection, I understand that too. But if you're a person who's never really been in an altercation, never really had any drama or beef or anything, and you feel the need to carry all these guns, I feel like something is wrong with you. You know, it's like if you've been in a situation where you feel like, okay, you need to get protection, that's different. But if everything is just pretty normal for you, then there's really no need for you to carry this artillery. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense how some people just feel the need for this. See, here we go. Another woman with guns. Like I said, I found it very interesting that in this book, it seems to be a lot of these pictures he has are depicting a lot of women who seem to be middle class, upper middle class, have some money, and carrying all of these guns. It seems like he focused more on that than the men. I mean, other than this photo right here. Look at this one. Let me shrink this down so you can really see it. Wow. With the candles around the bathtub and everything. It makes me think, man, is it a red flag to date a woman who carries weapons like this? Like, what do y'all think? You know, leave a comment down. And like I said, man, if you guys are feeling what we're talking here and discussing on this channel, please like, subscribe. Let's get it going, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd love to know some of your thoughts, because I got to tell you the truth, man. I kind of find it a little bit of a red flag if I see a woman who's just too infatuated with guns or weapons. I understand as a woman, she might need to carry her pepper spray or carry certain things to protect herself, especially if she has to, you know, travel late at night from work and things like that. I get it. But when it gets to this level, and I know that there are some women out there like this, when it gets to this level, I'm wondering, is this a red flag for y'all? Because it kind of is for me. I'll give you an example. I'm sure that some of us have been on dating apps before, right? And when you go on a dating app, you might come across a picture of a woman at a shooting range. When I see a picture of a woman at a shooting range, I swipe left or whatever it is. I forgot whichever it is because I haven't been on a dating app in a while, but it's either left or right. Whichever one is like, I'm not interested, I swipe the other way, because I'm not interested in a woman that goes to a shooting range for fun and she finds that fun, because I already know that most likely if she's at the shooting range, that she's there with another man. A man is the one that inspired her to go there. So that already shows me right there that she's probably damaged. And that she's already set in her ways, and that some other man, unless it was like her father or something, but even then it's still like, but I'm willing to bet that sometimes it wasn't even her father. I'm willing to bet that it was probably some other dude who really got you into it. And she's like, yeah, he turned her out, and that's cool. Good for them. But I don't want anything to do with that. And I find that to be a masculine trait. And I just don't like my women masculine. I like my women feminine. I don't like them carrying guns and trying to be masculine and being at the shooting range. So when I see a woman that's at the shooting range, I automatically think red flag, not for me, you know, maybe not for someone else. For somebody else, they may think that's cool. That's why I say I want to know what some of y'all think. But for some other people, they may think that's cool. But for me, nah, I'm not interested in that. A woman that hangs out at the shooting range or carries a lot of guns. And then they always say the same thing. Oh, I just like to hunt. Girl, I don't even see you cook. Look at this image. Another picture of a couple. Interesting. This guy even got the Captain America shirt on. Another family picture. Very, very deep pictures, man. I can see why this guy got a lot of criticism for Balenciaga. You could just see by his work that he likes to do controversial pictures. Another female with a gun or with guns. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these images are portraying women with guns and families. Look at that. They even got the dog on the bed. This picture looks like it might be real. Look at this guy. Yeah, notice how they all got money too. That's one thing that's interesting about this book is that he's not showing pictures of people in the ghettos holding guns. He's showing people that are wealthy, that look like they're well-to-do, well-off, and got some money, especially from this image right here with the car and all that. And he's showing them this is American culture. This is American society. Hot chicks around the guns wearing the American flag bikini. Another family pic. Another one. This one right here was really interesting to me. He had to do one with the black woman, right? Maybe these are real people because it looks like he's even putting the names in it too. Wow, it doesn't get really more United States of America than this picture right here. Yeah, so it started making me think about American culture and American society and how you got these people out here that always want to say, well, it's my Second Amendment and I have the right to bear arms and all this and that. You know, you always hear these people yelling that and screaming that and all that. And it's like, okay, I get it. Yes, you have your right to bear arms. It was written like almost thousands of years ago in the Constitution. But the point that I'm making here, though, is that do all of you really need to carry guns? And if you do carry guns, do you need to carry that many? Let me see if I can find his breakdown. I was going through his Instagram profile, and he says right here, these photos of mine depicted an aspect of American society and the close relationship it has with firearms, a relationship that in the last few years has become even more solidified. Very true. Gun sales have increased exponentially during the past 5 years, and unfortunately, we often read tragic news stories related to the spread of these weapons. So these are actually, I think, real people. These aren't even models. These are actually real people. I'm not sure if these are all the guns that they have in their house. Look at this part right here. It says that he never goes out unarmed and has a prediction for military type of firearms. He says that he never bought a complete gun. He always buys the parts and makes the guns custom himself. What a crazy guy. I mean, I get it, man. You've been in the military, so this is how you get down. But it's just like, man, just imagine that there's people like this out in the world right here, man. Like there's people that are just like, dude, like you're really that scared? Like if you're that scared to leave your house. Oh, by the way, this couple said they met on Instagram. Go figure. Are you really like first of all, come on, man. It's like, man, if you're really that scared to every time you leave your house, you can't leave your house unarmed. Maybe you should just stay home. I don't know, man. Y'all tell me in the comments. What do y'all think?